control on your timeline. The past is what made you who you are today. Embrace it, let it go like an exhale. Remove it, remove it, remove it. The muzzle is off.
All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Muzzle is Off podcast, where I am your host, NikiyaMone, where we really have real raw, real uncut conversations about what? Real things. And today is going to be no different. We are going to have a good conversation, and we're going to be talking about dating and relating in 2021. And the reason why we're going to be talking about this is because of the simple fact that I feel that it is important. As a single woman, there are a lot of things that we experience while we are attempting to date and relate with other people. Same sex, opposite sex, whatever your preference is. There are things that we experience. So today, myself and my guest, Darryle.
Hey, Nikiya.
Hey, Darryle. We're going to be discussing all of this. So if y'all hear a little feedback, I just can't, I'm not that quick with the mute and all this other extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? So y'all just rock with us with the slight feedback that you might hear. My apologies, but you know how modern technology is. Everything just don't always work right. So Darryle, introduce yourself.
My name is Darryle Holloway. He's AKA TCT, a relationship coach. I'm here to help women and men to fall in love again after a heartbreak. Because so many of us hearts has been broken. It's just crazy, especially during this pandemic. That's who I am, and I'm glad to be here, Nikiya. Thank you for inviting me.
You are very much so welcome. I have known Darryle, Facebook known him, right? We've never this is actually our first time really visually seeing each other, because other than that, we've always just spoken like over Facebook inbox and stuff like that. But I believe I've known you since about, I don't know, like 2013, 2014, somewhere around there.
Yeah, 2014, exactly. When we first started chatting with each other.
And one of the things that I can always say is that Darryl's posts have always just been so real and so raw and just so like uncut or whatever, that anybody that knows me knows I am the type of person that will always, I have no area going in anybody's inbox and be like, yo, you said that.
Hey, I try to wake people up about these relations, about these crazy folks out here too. Just being real.
There are definitely some crazy people out here. So Darryle, one of the things,
you know what, Nikiya? You are one of the only people to pronounce my name correctly.
Well, what they call you?
Darryle, every single thing but that. I don't hear that too much unless I hear from my mom.
That might be because you're in the South. I'm just throwing that out there. That might be a South thing. You know, I'm from Jersey, so we I feel like we pronounce everything right and everybody else is wrong, but whatever.
I hear you. I feel you.
That's my own bias. No, but let's get into this relationship. Darryle, what do you define dating as?
I define dating as you get to know a person, one person. Well, I can't say one person. It's multiple people trying to get to know them better, to see what the next step is going to go. You have some type of emotion involved, some type of attraction. Dating is different these days because dating is like text messages, DMs. No one wants to hold a conversation anymore, so it's a totally different strategy now. But we need to go back to the old ways of dating, having conversation with people, going out, not going to our apartment, because it seems like that's the first thing a man wants to do, or a woman wants to do. A man will invite a woman to his place. But we need to get back to the old ways of dating, getting to know a person, and just take it from there. Go out and also let a person know that, hey, I'm looking at other people too while I'm dating you. And just be brutally honest, because how would you feel that if someone that you was attracted to, they're seeing other people?
Yeah. So one of the things that I will say, I agree with that definition of dating. Dating does not necessarily mean that you just solo dating with just absolutely just one person, or like a monogamous type date. You definitely can date multiple people at the same time, because at the end of the day, dating, you're putting feelers out and you're trying to see how you relate to another person, how you interact with another person, how you converse with another person. Because conversate is not a word, just in case someone you're dating. And I don't care what they added into the dictionary in 2020. It's not a word. They just did that because y'all refused to use converse. Anyway, but I do think that it is important that we learn the art of dating, which all stems from the art of communication. And I just believe that communication, once texting started, communication took like a deep dive down into somewhere, I don't know. People do not know how to effectively communicate anymore. Would you agree?
Oh, totally. It's just crazy. A matter of fact, I have conversations with a few ladies, be honest. But the thing is, it's too much texting. That's all this. I'm not sure about today's society, but I'm old school. I like to talk to you because a lot of times your message can be confusing in a text message. But if they can hear the reflection of your voice, they can understand it better. Because there's so many times I took a text the wrong way, or someone took the text the wrong way and went left.
I definitely agree with that. I am not the one. If you just want to have text conversations with me, I am definitely not the one for you. If you want to video call me all day, I'm not the one for you either, with all that video call and stuff, because I just don't feel like I need to hold my phone up and do all of that craziness. I ain't got that type of time. I am big on communication. Why? Because I can literally, and calling and actually in person conversing, because at least with a phone call, I can put my earbuds in and walk around my house and not have to hold my phone in my hand. But these folks that just want to FaceTime you and then and Facebook video call you and all of that stuff, I can't get with it, because at the end of the day, I like to do multiple things at the same time. I like to multitask, and I don't have time to be sitting up there with the phone like this and looking at you and you looking at me. You know what I'm saying? And then let me say this, and then some of y'all like to do that while I'm working. Okay. And that's annoying in and out of itself, because and then you upset. You're not paying attention to me. I told you I was working. Like, I got a job. Like, what you want me to do? Sit here and talk to you all day while I'm working? No, that's not how this works.
Okay, so you old school too. So you prefer to have a more of a personal relationship that you can see them every single day. So you don't believe in no type of video calls, anything like that?
I'm not going to say I don't believe in any type of video calls. What I don't want to do is do that all day long. That's annoying to me. Like, I'm not doing that all day long. I believe that you can video call. You can I'm not one of those people that is like, if I got my bonnet on and I think that you're gonna video call me, like I gotta hurry up, take my bonnet off. I'm not that person either, because I believe that you just need to see all of me, all natural, in whichever way I give it to you. That's how you're gonna get it. So I just don't want to do that all day.
Right. Okay. I understand. But I like the bonnet thing. You're right. Get to see the real you. Because you know what? Too many times we're not seeing the real person at all. At all. Let me see who you really are before I start to date you, start to talk to you.
I believe that a lot of the times we spend a lot of time meeting people's representative. We meet who they want you to see. We meet whom they want you to perceive them to be, as opposed to just meeting the actual person. I am very real, and I think I'm very raw, and I think a lot of people can't necessarily handle that. They can't necessarily take that, which is perfectly fine. I'm good with that, because if you can't, then you're definitely just not the person for me. But at the same time, I don't want to meet your representative either.
You know, I'm so sick and tired of people representatives. I'm so sick and tired of Photoshop. That's the worst thing that ever happened for men and women. Now you can do body shots now. I met this woman. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, those pictures. Where is she? I'm like, and I was so pissed off. I left the restaurant. Okay, because that was false advertising. Okay. I took my butt down to the restaurant to meet you, and you nothing like your pictures. And see, and that's the thing I don't understand. You're gonna get busted sooner or later, so be honest if you're gonna meet someone. You think a person's just gonna accept that? Like, okay, all right. I'm like, ooh. I'm like, the pictures I saw, you had excuse my French, you had a banging body, okay? But that was not the case. I'm not sure whose body that was. It wasn't hers. And then she will get an attitude about it. Like, get an attitude you want to. Shoot. I'm out. Peace. And the kid also, she didn't even do her doggone nails either. That pissed me off too.
Wait. I gotta go back. You left the restaurant?
Yeah. I left the restaurant. Yeah. She called me, kept on calling me. I did not answer the phone. And the reason I did this, because I'm tired of these games. I think we all should be tired of these games. We all need to start calling people out of their mess, because they're going to keep on doing the same mess to someone else. Like, you're going to learn today. I'm not the one.
Pause. That is hilarious. So, okay. Wait a minute. I have to bring this all in and just think about this here. Darryle said he left. He saw the woman. She was false advertising of herself, because the picture he saw with the banging body was not what he saw in person. And he straight up left that whole good restaurant and left her sitting right there. And she was calling and you did not answer that phone.
Exactly. That wasn't her body. That was not her face.
Oh, you was catfish.
Yes, I was catfish. I'm telling you, that Photoshop stuff is dangerous. You better FaceTime her first before you meet them. But you know what? We take that back, because now I'm seeing people that do videos. They get apps for that too that make you look. You can Photoshop as well. So you got to meet people in real life, because it's sad out there. Like you said, you know what? We meet too many representatives, and then we truly get to know the person. You're like, who the hell are you?
So you know what? So let's really talk about that, right? Because at the end of the day, you're dating, right? So you get to go out on dates, you get to meet people, you get to decide whether you want to stay or whether you want to leave. That's just what it is. Like, at the end of the day, I know I laugh a lot and I joke a lot, whatever, but I'm not sitting across from you if you're not if you don't look like what we already had exchanged, right? Because at the end of the day, like that is a type of false advertisement. You literally have branded yourself as something that you are not, especially them people that only take pictures from here up. I ain't got this type time for y'all with the hair up. And then when you finally see that whole full body, and some of you dudes, y'all do this, y'all be hair up, face look like you all built in something like you work out. And then when you get the full body pic, you know what I'm saying? Stomach is hanging, poked out, got a whole big beer belly and stuff, carrying on this stuff, ankles is swollen and stuff. I don't have time for that either, because y'all try us too. Then, and let me tell y'all, ladies, let me tell y'all something too. Okay, because if you like a tall man and you can't really gauge his height within them pictures, just see if he's taking a picture in a car. Any man who had barely hit that good headrest, he 5'7" or below. I'm telling y'all right now, 5'7" or below. Check that headrest. And you know why I know this? Because I'm 5'7", right? So therefore, anytime I take a picture in that car where my head hit that headrest, if you're a dude and your head is hitting and I can tell you sitting straight up, no, I already know. And also, some of y'all like to lie about your little height too, because what you are is you'll be like, you're like, well, how tall are you? Oh, you know, I'm about 5'9". You want to know what I always hit him back with? So is that the real 5'9", or is that the 5'9" you would like to be with the boots on? So you really about 5'7.5" I just need to know what I'm dealing with, because I wear heels, and what I'm not about to be is the Leaning Tower pizza over you. Like, this is not happening. Like, this cannot be what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, there are definitely telltale signs, because and let me go, you know what? This is going to be partially get it off your chest, and we talking about dating and relating, but this is all true. Some of y'all like to put up y'all have them old pictures as your profile pictures on the good book. And then next thing you know, y'all want to video call somebody and you got about 3 chins in your current view. And that is not the picture that was on that good profile. Stop all of that. It's just ridiculous. Stop it. Because what happens is, and especially while you're dating and relating, for a person like myself, I'm just going to view you as a deceiver. And then you're just going to be like, that's just who you are. You're a deceiver, and you're going to be charged off as such. And that's how I do.
I love it. I love it. I love it. But you know what the kicker is? The boots. No, you did not go with the boots. Oh, hey, you forgot about one. If he never removes his hat. They always have pictures that beware. There's a reason why there's a reason why that hat is always on his head. You never see a picture without that hat on.
Let me say this though, right? Because I personally, I understand the struggles of hairlines and thinning hair and all of that. I got my own damn struggles with strudges. Y'all have heard me talk about my strudges on this podcast. It's called Struggle Edges. Hence the reason why I finally just said, I'm going to shave the sides off or whatever until these strudges act like they want to be right. It just is, but you know what I'm saying? But I'm very real and I'm very open. I'm very honest about all of that. See, the problem is some of y'all just be lying until that hat come off and then we see that you ain't got no hair, or your hairline start like way back here somewhere. Just be honest and be truthful about all of your isms and your schisms and whatever the hell else you got going on. And everybody is able. I always say I am better equipped to deal with you in truth than I am to deal with you in a lie, period.
Exactly. That's so true. When we could be, but the best thing, I like what you said, you're already deceiving a person. So I write them off already. I love that, because I need to take a lesson from your book because I should have done that with a few people, because they end up being who they are. If they're going to deceive you in the first place, when you first meet them, that's a red flag right there.
And you know what I noticed even now recently? There are a lot, especially some of y'all older men. y'all don't like telling y'all ages anymore either. And I don't fully understand why this is or whatever, because I remember there was a time when women would not tell their ages, but now it has reversed and these men will not tell their ages for the life of them. They'll be like, one man told me, what did he tell me? I'm old enough to be attentive. I said, well, that's not an age. Anybody can be attentive. How old are you? Well, I'm in my late 50s. I said, okay, so now by process of elimination, I'm going to assume that you're damn near 60. And my mother just turned 60, so you're really in her age group. That offended his whole entire life. But guess what? I don't care. And not that I meant to offend, because I didn't, but with that level of an age gap, what do we have in common? That's just that's how that works. We're talking, you're a completely different generation. You are a completely different focus. And at the end of the day, I want to have at least one child. You already damn near 60. That child hit 10 years old. You 70? How that work? You gonna run around with it? Especially if it's a boy, you can play basketball. I'm just saying. So, there's a lot of things that go along with that. And I'm just like, when you're dating, people have to understand that when you're dating, this is what you're dating for. You are dating to understand who this person is. And when you start off playing those little games, like especially those word games, I am automatically turned up. I don't like word games. I'm too much of an upfront person to deal with wordplay.
Okay, can you expound on that? What you mean by wordplay?
Wordplay, what I mean is that whole exchange of, oh, well, how old are you? Well, I'm old enough to be attentive. That's wordplay. Like, I don't have time for wordplay. Either you're going to answer a question with a direct answer, or you're going to play a game where we got to go around in this big circle, which literally took 3 days for this man to finally tell me that he was 58. And by that point, I was already not interested. Like, I'm not interested in furthering any type of communication or conversation with you, because it should not take 3 days to answer a direct question.
And see, that's one of the issues with dating right now. People are playing too many games. We grown folks. We should be acting like grown folks. Stop playing games, but we don't. We want to lie. We want to cheat. We want to do this. We want to do that. Just be who you are. It's going to come out sooner or later. But people, they want, like you said, send a representative, and sooner you got to keep the lie going. Like I shared with someone, I said I can only deal with one woman because my mind is not good. I forget. Okay, I forget, because I remember my wife told me one day, she said, "Hold it." I told her a story. Then she was telling me, "Hold it. That's not what you told me 3 years ago." I'm like, "Huh?" Oh, shoot. I'm like, oh, doggone. And she still remember that? So I just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't lie like that. Because sooner or later, you're going to get busted.
So let me get this straight. You lied. You told one story, and then 3 years later, you told a whole nother story.
Yes. Mm. Well, at the time, we weren't married at the time. But I didn't realize it. But you know what? I'm not sure why this story even came up, but she definitely remembered. And ever since that day, I'm like, can't do it. Can't do it. Because that's the one thing. That's the one thing about women. You guys will lay back and let us tell lies and don't say a word until the time is right. Then everything is just going to come out. So brothers, be careful. You might be telling your woman one thing and she's like, "Oh, okay." Mm-hmm. And she give you this sign. Mm-hmm, okay. Start nodding her head. You're in trouble.
Yeah. Because we do remember.
Yes.
And we do wait. We don't, and I think a lot of men think that we address things right then and there when it happens. And sometimes we really don't. We really do wait, like, oh, okay. I'm going to wait for the right time and in the right moment and in the right season. And I'm going to bring this up. And when I bring it up, Woe unto him, for the truth is about to make his ass free. Yep. So let me say, because you have put up a post and it said, too many women are playing wife to a man that says they're just a friend. Never play a position you haven't been given. Can you expound on that? Because a lot of times, like especially, let's say you make it past the dating phase, so now you're really in the courting phase or whatever the case may be. And when you are in that whole level of that type of phase where you have decided to become exclusive, a lot of times people feel that depending upon what you're doing, that you're playing a wife role. When really and truly, sometimes you're just being a woman to that man, and you're just showing him like this is how you love.
Right.
So what's the difference?
But one of the major thing you said about that post is when a man doesn't claim you as his own, that's telling you something right there. He's telling everyone else that you two are friends, but you're not realizing that you are giving him all of you, wifey benefits, whatever the case would be, and you just get a part of a man that just using you for whatever the case may be. I always share with people, if especially in the courting phase, if a man or woman cannot introduce you to their family, that's a major issue. If they cannot introduce you to their friends, that's a major issue. And we get caught up in that too much, that, oh, he loves me, or she loves me. No, I don't think so. I think they're just playing with you. And sometimes we have to learn the difference between people using you, people taking advantage of you, of your heart, of your love, of everything that you've given to them, their trust, and you just say, hey, we're just friends. And the sad part about it is, when the woman gets mad, the man is going to say, well, I told you we're just friends.
I told you I'm single.
Yeah. And that was never the case. And see, and that's the one thing we always have to have that discussion. And some people will lie. You tell them what you're looking for. Are we together? They're like, yeah, we're together. But you got to have that conversation. You need to hear from their mouth to tell you what type of relationship that you do have. If you guys just seen each other one-on-one, that's it. Are you guys seeing other people? A person needs to know. You need to ask these questions. I know that some people don't want to ask these questions because they want to feel that they are the one. But these are tough questions we must ask in the beginning before the relationship start getting more serious. And then it's going to be hard to get out of that relationship, because now your heart is caught up in it.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Like some time ago, like me and this guy, and I won't even say that we were dating. We were just friends who really and truly enjoyed each other's company. But we had that level of a conversation. So the conversation, so that everything was always, out in the open, although like, certain situations arose where it was a little shaky. Even though you can have that level of conversation and you could all have an understanding that you're not in a relationship, you really are friends, but you're friends who really and truly enjoy each other's company. But there are definitely situations where things can become a little shaky even with that, because as much as you communicate and as much as you overly communicate, there are still certain, although people don't like to admit that, there are still certain boundaries that you don't expect to be crossed. And then once those boundaries are crossed, then it's like, that's a little shaky. Like we are in a little shaky of a situation, and this was not expected, but now I got to learn how do I process through what was unexpected. And I mean, you process through it or whatever the case may be, because you've already had the understanding of, you're really just friends who enjoy each other's company or whatever the case may be. But it can become a lot confusing sometimes. And I think people have to be honest with that level of, number one, conversation, and number two, with that level of understanding that there can be situations that arise where you might be like, this is toting the boundary line of part disrespectful, part, give up, but it's still a little, I don't know how I feel about that. This is shaky. How would you address that? As a man, how would you address that?
Wow. It's bringing back memories, a flashback. Because I had a relationship like that with a friend of mine. We were best friends. But even though you're best friends, the heart still matters. You start to fall in love with that person. Yeah, there's boundaries, but then when you start seeing them with someone else or talking to someone else, it's kind of hard to deal with. Even though you say you two just best friends, but still, when I saw her with other dudes, I'm like, damn, okay, I'm like, I thought me and you was like this, and it hurts, and there's nothing you could do about it because you had that conversation. Unfortunately, like I said, because of the heart that matters, that friendship could turn into something else. Because a lot of friendships do turn into solid relationships, but even though when it crossed that boundary, there's not too much you can do because you two decided we're friends. And oh boy, I'm just having a flashback. I'm sorry because that was tough on me. I mean, we were friends for so many years and stuff like that. And then when I found out she got married to someone else, I'm like, oh hell no. But we were still best friends because she's always called me at night for advice. And sometimes, and you probably receive the same thing too. I'm like, no, this woman's not calling me about advice about another dude. I'm like, but I'm her friend. I got to put my feelings aside. It's not easy, but you have to do it because if you guys are truly friends, that's what you do. So that's how only way I could put it because firsthand experience, it did break my heart. Listen to her talk about other guys and this and that. But me and her, next minute, we out on the dance floor, kicking it, going out to dinner, traveling together, and doing all this other stuff. I'm like, and then some dude called her. I'm like, what's up with this? Just being transparent because a lot of us go through that situation, like you said, you did, and it's hard to deal with. But when you have those conversations about being a friend, it's nothing else you could do about it. Even if they might cross that boundary, it is what it is. You gotta be adults about it. And at the time, I was not an adult about it. Oh, but and it's funny, we still best friends too. After all these years.
Here's what I think. I think that there is a way to do that and have a common ground of understanding of each other where, like for me, I might not tell him about all the dudes I'm talking to, right? Like I might spare it. Listen here, and don't tell me about the people that you don't know. We're not having, and we still man cool, and we can still be best friends, and we can still do all of that. But like you said, there's one thing with the heart, and at the end of the day, when you are truly best friends with a person, and your heart is intertwined with that person, and but you understand each other's boundaries, and you understand, like, you know what, we gonna be cool, we forever, this is how we gonna kick it, blah blah blah, whatever the case may be. Once you understand those bounds and those lines, you don't necessarily cross them again. But you have such a deep found respect and love for each other that you'll just always be there for each other, no matter what the hell, no matter rain, sleet, snow, whatever, storms, hurricane, whatever, like, this is I know he got my back. I know she got my back. I know this for a fact. Now, I'm going to tell where some of y'all go wrong at, and I'm going to tell y'all what y'all do. Y'all start calling these people that y'all done slept with brothers and sisters and stuff, and y'all disgusting for that. Because after you done slept with him or her, she is not your brother. Well, she ain't your sister, and he ain't your brother. you're confused if you call somebody that you done had sex with your brother or your sister. You're actually kind of nasty, in my opinion. That's just Nikiya's opinion. Other folks might not think you nasty, but I'm gonna tell you nasty because that just sounds like some type of incest. Like at the end of the day, I don't sleep with my brothers, nor do I wouldn't. And if I was a dude, I'm not gonna sleep with my sister unless you got some type of mental health disorder where you think that shit is normal, and it's not. That's nasty.
I have a quick question for you before we move on to something else. How did you handle that with your friend?
So, I mean, in the beginning, it was a little difficult, right? Because you got to process through those feelings. Like you have to process through like how you actually do feel, and also you then have to be. Then I'm like a realist. I deal in reality very well. So then I had to look at the reality of the situation and be like, this is best, right? And so the truth of the matter, and he was supposed to be in a podcast like a couple months ago, but his ass ain't never show up because we were actually going to talk about that openly on the podcast, right? Because that's how close of friends we really are, and we don't care about talking about that stuff. So the truth of the matter was he had issues really and truly being faithful and being in real committed relationships. It just wasn't his thing, and I had to realize that us just being friends was best for me. Forget him. It was best for me, and it was honestly for my own protection, right? Because at the end of the day, he wasn't going to do anything but keep hurting me by doing the stuff that he was doing. So it really and truly was for my own personal protection that we stopped. And the truth of the matter is that this was back. I was in my 20s back then. Like I was literally probably like 21, 22 years old, and coming to that level of a conclusion. And it worked though. It worked well to the point where, yeah, we are still friends to this day. And I think we salvaged our friendship because we ended. Although some days he gets on my good nerve because he'll be like, we really should be together. And I'm like, no, we really shouldn't. You got community pain. It's for everybody. And I don't share. So, and I don't. I was like, I don't share, and you're not going to bring me back BV because you want to sleep with this one and that one. Because at the end of the day, I don't think that I just feel that some men are very selfish in that way. And it's so, there was something going around. It was like a question that was asked before, and it said, if you're having unprotected sex with a person, does that mean that you're exclusive? And no, it absolutely does not mean that you are 100% exclusive with that person. But what I do believe is that if a person trusts you enough to allow you, the man, to enter her raw, I believe that as a man, you have an obligation to let that woman know, right, that you're sleeping with other people unprotected as well. Like there should be a level of conversation that goes on with that, because at the end of the day, two women's bodily fluids don't necessarily mix all the time, right? There are some women whom can handle other people's pHs. I happen to not be that woman that can handle other people's pHs. So what was actually happening was that I kept realizing that he was throwing my pH off. And I'm like, anytime that happens, that's because he's having sex with someone else without using a condom. And once that became the reality, I was like, for me, trust is gone, right? Because at that time, like I said, I'm in my 20s. If I trust you enough like that, which no one really, truth be told, like hindsight is always 2020, no one really should have that level of your trust without some real type of commitment things going on, like marriage, so to speak. But even in that, because I got a story about that as well. Even in that can push a boundary. But because that's what was going on, to me, trust was broken because there are just certain things that you just don't do. And to me, that's just one of them. It's one thing if I throw my own pH off because I done changed soaps and shit and didn't really realize it. But it's another thing when you're throwing it off because you're having unprotected sex with other women and you're not telling me that that's what you're doing. Because you can have sex with them, but I don't know who those women are having sex with. You don't know who technically those women are having sex with either, because clearly y'all are not in nothing real either. So that's just too many fluids mixing. And for me, I just believe that is a true breakdown of communication and real trust. At that point, I can't trust you, because I can't trust that you would, you're no longer a protector to me. For me, you're no longer a protector. Like, that's just how I view that. So when I begin to view things like in its totality and in all realness, when I view it like that, it's easy for me to like shut down, let's say, like the heart part, because my heart will basically begin to say, no, that person really didn't care about your heart anyway, because they exposed you. So who exposes you that really and truly cares and loves you? They're not going to expose you that way. So once I do that, I'll be like, all right, I'm cool. What's up? How you doing? Who you with this week?
Wow, that's deep. It really is. And I definitely understand where you're coming from. I had a situation like that myself. And it's funny, she told me that I need to go to the doctor. I'm like, why I need to go to the doctor for? Okay. And I did go to the doctor, but I didn't have anything.
Oh.
I'm like, so what's going on? you know, so like you're saying, it's not something that we like to talk about, but it happens to the best of us. It happens to everyone. And when we had that conversation, like, evidently you sleep with someone else because you got something, but I don't have it. Okay? Because you're telling me you got it from me. Okay? Trying to accuse me of sleeping around. I'm like, da-da, here's my doctor's thing. Boom.
That's like in Why Did I Get Married, when she was like, no, you got it from Walter. I been do. I was just waiting for you to get. I was like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny myself when when things turned her way. And the funny part is she continued to lie about it. Like, oh my God. Just be honest, be truthful. There's nothing to hide anymore. It's out there. You telling me you got it from me, and you think I don't have anything. But after that was it. That was it.
I don't think people realize that when you break trust, that is another way of breaking trust. And, you know, at the end of the day, like I said, like you said, you and her were friends. Y'all had an understanding in y'all friendship, which works, right? But at the same time, it's like, okay, we need to have a level of transparency here. Like Shauna said, true transparency. We need to have a level of transparency here. Be honest. If you screwing other people raw, let me know, because I need to know how I need to protect myself, or even if I need to deal with you, period. Because I might not need to deal with you, period. Right? Because at the end of the day, what are we getting at here? You know what I'm saying? Or we need to have a conversation concerning all this fluid bonding, because you got me bonding fluids with people I don't even know. No, I'm not. I have, and especially today now, people do not understand like this. Some of y'all just nasty. That's all. You just nasty. You don't mind fluid bonding. I am not she. I mind fluid bonding. Okay. Hence why I'm single now, because I don't share. And if I wanted to share, and you think that me and you are going to have unprotected sex, and then you going to go screw this and have unprotected sex with her, and then you got her and you having unprotected sex with her, and then you coming back over here, and now I'm thrown off? No. Houston, we got a problem, because I wasn't thrown off before you, and what I'm not going to be is thrown off after you. Something ain't right, and we got to resolve this now.
Oh, you made a valid point. It's just some people just nasty out here. They don't even care about anyone's feelings but their own feelings, and that's why relationships these days are so tough. There's no trust. It's like everybody's trying to get over on everyone else before they get hurt, because so many people have gotten hurt. It's like, hey, before I get hurt, I'm gonna hurt him or hurt her, and it's just madness out here. When we can just have adult conversations, decide what we're going to do. Are we going to see each other? Or are we going to see other people? Plain and simple, because I ain't the one. Because, hey, Nikiya, I'm greedy. I don't like sharing. I want all mine. Okay? No.
I like what, you know what, Derek, I believe you in Texas, if I remember correctly. I like all of what Derek just said right here. He said, all BS aside, I'm new at this dating game. After being married for over 20 years and being divorced for now 2 years, I just can't deal with the madness of dating, the mistrust, the opaqueness of people. Yes, man, just be real, period. Give people the opportunity. Derek, you said it right there. Give people the opportunity to make a decision. Period. And that's where I find that there are a lot of people, men and women alike, you are not giving people the opportunity to make a decision that is what? Best for them. Okay? You have people going into situations because your ass is a liar, because you're being very deceptive, because you're not necessarily being honest, because you're not being truthful, because you want to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I forgot. It doesn't. I'll remember in a second. But what the hell is the word? Anyway. Oh, evasive. That's the word I'm looking for. Evasive. You want to be evasive. You don't necessarily. You don't want to be real. And I have that is part. Let me say this. One of the worst things any man can ever do to me, which just happened to me, is come to me and tell me you're my future wife. Sir, what is my favorite color? What is my favorite food? What is my favorite saying? What's my mother's name? What's my sister's name? Do you even know my nephew's names? What is the most important thing to me in this whole wide world? What is my story? How the hell am I your future wife and you don't know any of that? But you want to play. Don't play like Derek. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Derek, man, you was on point. Hey, I pray for you, brother, because it's like I said, it's mad out here. It's madness out here. You just have to be careful, because a lot of people are not going to be transparent with you whatsoever. But there's still hope out there. I want to keep hope alive for people out there, because there are good people, good men and women out there. They're looking for someone they can date, they can marry. Just, keep it simple. A person who they can trust. Geez, can I trust you? When I go to bed at night, am I going to bed thinking that you're with somebody else? I need a peace of mind. I can't deal with this craziness. And then and then this dating scene right here. Whew, how about ghosting? Where'd that come from?
I can't talk about. Hold up. I can't talk about ghosting. I will I will ghost you in a minute. And it's not on I'm sorry. It's not on purpose, right? It's just that when I'm just not interested, I have nothing to say. And I don't know how many other ways for me to sell you I'm not interested, that you're not really listening. So at that point, I don't respond.
Telling me you're not interested, I can understand that. And they being hard-headed, you have no other option. Matter of fact, I just blocked their telephone number.
Mm-hmm.
Because you put it out there.
I can't deal with certain things, and depending upon what you say to me is what's going to get you possibly ghosted. I'm just being honest.
What certain things you can't deal with? What is your things you cannot bargain with?
So I'll tell you. If we're having a conversation and it's a real generalized conversation, just a real general conversation, and somehow, some way you turn that conversation into something sexual, I'm not responding to you ever again at
Okay.
all. Because at that point, you're perverse, and you don't know how to have a regular conversation without turning something sexual that is really just normal, right? Like I'm having a regular conversation. I could say the sky is blue, and then next thing you know, somehow, some way that turns into some type of sexual innuendo. At that point, I'm turned completely off, and I'm not conversing. Like conversation is over,
Okay.
and I won't respond ever again. And I'm not going to. But I think that falls in line with what I spoke about last week. I think it was last week or the week before, whenever the heck I did the last podcast, because I can't remember at this point. But when I spoke about people have to understand what people's levels of attraction is. I am not one that is attracted to physical appearance, so physical appearance does not turn me on. So if physical appearance does not turn me on, neither the hell is sexual innuendos in conversation. I'm a person that is attracted to actual intellect. So making that type of a conversation will never attract me, and it will literally like forever turn me off. And that was when the man did that, it literally was like a complete turn off. And at that point, I was no longer interested in any type of conversation at all. And I did not. He got ghosted.
Okay. Okay. I definitely understand that. It makes sense. There's certain things you don't have to deal with. And a lot of people don't realize that. And it's funny. He said you're talking about different colors, and all of a sudden they want to talk about sex. Okay. You went you took the conversation to a whole different level.
And I wasn't going there. Let me see what she said. Shauna says some people don't understand lying is not a compliment of you trying not to hurt someone. Lying is hurting. It is.
Yeah. I'd rather for a person to be truthful, tell me they're not interested in me, so I can go my way. I don't have to waste my time. I don't have to try to impress you. I don't have to do anything. Just let me know. That's all. And I think that men and women will have better relationships if we just, like she was saying, lying is hurting people, and the lie is going to truly catch up to you. And then what you gonna say? I'm sorry, baby. I ain't got time for that.
Don't apologize to me.
Just apologize.
I'm very different. Apologizing without change behavior means absolutely nothing to me. So you cannot apologize to me without changing behavior, because an apology without actual change is it falls on deaf ears. That means nothing. It's like if I apologize to you because I should be acknowledging the fact that I did something that actually hurt you or offended you or made you feel uncomfortable, whatever the case may be. So if I apologize to you for that, that's for me not to repeat that same behavior. So apology without change behavior it is pointless and dumb.
Yeah, I can apologize all day for the same things, for the same mistakes. And like you said, there's no change in behavior. Your apologies is no good to me.
No.
Just moving your mouth. That's it. Okay. Just saying, hey, I apologize. It's easy. I'm sorry. Oh, I love you. Easy words to throw out there. But we got to come together in this dating stuff, because it's just nonsense. Just have these conversations. Be nice to each other. Let people know if you're interested or not. Don't waste somebody's time. I don't care what I think somebody said, you never waste somebody's time. It's a lesson learned. No, you wasted my time. Okay? Forget about lesson learned. You wasted my time. My time is valuable. What Derek say?
He said, He said, I feel you, NikiyaMone. I had a lady I was into, and all she spoke of was sex. Although she's very attractive, it wasn't a turn on for me. She was not ever contacted again. There's way more to me than my penis. I'm educated, driven, a damn good father, brother, and friend. Listen, I feel you on that. I don't have time. I'm not talking about none of that. At the end of the day, see, and this is the thing that people fail to understand about sexual attraction. Yes, could I look at you and be like, oh, you know what? You look good as hell. Yeah, right. And in my younger days, that probably was what drove me to want to have sex with somebody, right? Like when I was like way younger. But at the age of 40, like today, 40-year-old Nikiya, you could look good. You could look all this great and you could have a little penis and don't know how to work it. Well, little Kim said, if you can't work the middle, I'm just saying. She said it. She said it. She said he couldn't work the middle because his dick too little. So therefore, if you can't hit the spot, what is all of this doing anyway? Right? And this is the thing, and this is what people fail to understand. When you have that level of an attraction, when your attraction is just based on that, right? That's all you have. But if you can captivate someone's mind and be attracted to them mentally, right? You might be able to work with the fact that their dick is little and that they can't work the middle. You might be willing to, I'm just saying, you might be willing to deal with it because you're so into them as a person, right? That might be the most mind-blowing sex you hear. Like, oh snap. Why? Because you're there with them mentally. So your sexual arousal has been stimulated by what? Intellect, by what? Conversation, by what? Being, or a demisexual person, having such a strong emotional connection to that person because, right? So then you don't mind a little Peter, as Shauna keeps saying.
That's what they say. Okay, I ain't gonna believe that shit. Excuse me. But
But let me say this.
Okay.
It's the truth, right? Since it's the Muzzle is Off podcast and my muzzle Ben came off, quite some time ago, truth be told, I had dealt with a person with a little Peter. He had a little peen. It was little, right? But we had such a great connection. It didn't matter because the connection was great, right? So when the connection is great, you can work with anything. Now, did the relationship continue? No. Okay. But it had nothing to do with the little Peter. You know what, Shauna? And I'm mad you got me calling this shit a Peter. But it had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with some other things that was going on that wasn't connected, right? So you have to learn. You got to learn all of this stuff about yourself. Like I had to come to my own self to learn, Nikiya, what is it that you want? And I know for me, I'm just different, and I respect my difference. You know what I'm saying? And I like being different. I want to be different. I don't want to be like everybody else. You want to know why? Because that's why half y'all are cheaters anyway and deceivers. Why? Because you require physical. I don't require that. I don't need that. That's one of the things that keeps me loyal and faithful. Some of y'all need to go after us loyal and faithful ones that don't just run around here trying to be physically with any and everybody. But see, y'all don't want us. Y'all want these little hoes. That's what y'all want.
Yeah, that's not what they want. But like you said, it's all about attraction. Because once you're attracted to someone, then you have a conversation. Then you find out, okay, this conversation can go further. But sometimes the attraction, when they open their mouth, have a conversation with you, like, oh, I take a pass, because this person cannot relate on a mental level. And like you were saying, a lot of times we talk about little Peter, okay? But if you can stimulate a woman's mind, everything else can work. Because we're at the age, now we're 20 years old, we're at the age we want more than just sex. You can just get sex anywhere, okay? Everybody who got a big booty, whatever, hey, you're not the only one who got a big booty, all right? And you have to realize this. It's much deeper. It's a spiritual thing. It's a mental thing. And it's all about the person you can connect with and have peace with. A person that you can tell the world about them and you don't have to worry about anything. Don't have to worry about dishonesty, cheating, or anything else. But like you said, they don't want the faithful people. They don't want to get out there and act all wild. But you know what the funny part is? They want to act all wild, but when they find out that their man or woman's cheating on them, they're about to have a heart attack. Like, why? Why are you tripping? It's okay you to do it, but they can't do it. Oh, okay. All these side chicks and side dudes. And side dudes and side dudes and side chicks and side chicks. If he caught that one.
And let me say this, because some of y'all get mad when I be talking about cheating on here, but I don't care what you get mad about. It just is what it is. Y'all are cheaters. And what you fail to understand is that cheating hurts. Cheating carries a different level of guilt. It carries a different level of shame. It carries a different level of deception. It carries a different level of hurt. And you get upset when I talk about it on here, but I personally don't care about nobody's feelings. And you want to know why? Because I was one whom was cheated on. And one of the things that I would not do was cheat back. Although I feel like Keisha Cole and I should have cheated. However, I'm glad that I didn't, right? Because I would never want to walk around with that level, looking at my significant other or my spouse in his face, knowing that I was just with another dude and I'm coming home to you because you just hurt me. So therefore I'm going to get back at you. I'm not doing that. I want to be able, I'm the type of person where I want to be able to look at you with all right and all integrity and be like, although you hurt me, I didn't do that back to you, because I walk with a different level of integrity and character about myself to not. Now, what I will say is that some of y'all cheaters, when you do get cheated on back, you ain't got no reason to be upset, because you opened the door for that level of deception to creep into your house. I believe that as well. But I believe that part of the issue, especially in this good season that we are in, that you have to find your way in which you relate to a person, right? And a lot of times when cheating is introduced into a relationship, the cheater needs to figure out where the breakdown of their relational experience went. Because 9 times out, unless you just a bum ass woman or a bum ass dude, 9 times out of 10, cheating occurred because there was a break somewhere and you didn't know how to address or assess that break, and you went and looked on the outside to find some level of validation that you felt that you were not receiving, whatever the hell that level of validation was, whether it was, love, whether you didn't like how you were being spoken to, whether you didn't like how you were being cared for, whether you didn't like how you were even being catered to, whatever it was that broke. Sometimes the cheater, I'm talking about the cheater, needs to figure that part out, right? But the one whom is being cheated on, I'm sorry, I am not the one to sit up here and say, well, you need to figure out what you didn't do right. No, you don't. Sit back, let that person figure out they ish, period. Because at the end of the day, you cannot take on the burden of someone else's actions. I don't believe in that. That is a lie. And that is something that, especially us women, when we are cheated on by our men, we are taught that what weren't you doing? I don't give a damn what I wasn't doing. What he shouldn't have done was what he did. Or if you're a woman with a woman and that woman cheated on you, what she shouldn't have done is what she did. Period. There's no excuse for that. And I think that when we do that, we're adding on another level of trauma to the one that actually is the victim and that was actually hurt. And then that person then walks around. See, and this is where the revenge cheating takes place, right? Because you've asked this person to accept blame for something that in their mind and in their heart, why do I have to accept blame for this shit, right? So now I'm angry, I'm upset, and now I need to vent this out and I need to get this out. So sometimes the best way for them to do it is they fall into the comfort of another person. And guess what? And cheating and the cycle begins, right? So we have to, I believe, and I'll probably do a podcast on this a little deeper, probably with like a psychologist or somebody, because I believe that there is psychology behind cheating that we just fail to address, and we fail to recognize, and we fail to understand.
Some good points. I remember one day I asked one of my friends, why do he cheat? I mean, he had a beautiful wife. She had a beautiful career. They have a beautiful family. He said, Darryle, man, I love my wife. I never leave her, but sometimes I want a different flavor. Wow. Okay. Just want a different flavor. How would you feel if she stepped out on you that way? I divorce her. Oh, you divorce her. But it's okay for you to step out on her. And something profound that you said, the damage that's done when you cheat on somebody, you don't know somebody's mindset, what it's going to do to them. Some people don't. I know a young lady that hit my DM. She don't even want to have a relationship with a man, with a person, period, for the last 10 years, because she was so hurt by all the cheating that was done on her, because she accepted it. Like you said, she took the blame for it. She was blaming herself that her man stepped out on her. You can stop playing the victim role. It's not your fault. He did because that's what he wanted to do. Plain and simple. You can have the best sex, have the best woman, you can have the best of everything. If he's a cheater, he's a cheater. And to me, cheating is all about character. It speaks on your character, who you are as a person.
And I also think that as far as like, you know, this is the thing when it comes down to dating and relating, especially now, we have to begin to really do some character assessments. We really have to do some judgments. We really have to take time to really get to know the person, not making broad-based assumptions about a person, you know, not any of that, but literally take the time to get to know the person, take the time to get to know their character, take the time to get to know, you know, where they are morally, where they are integrally, where are you? Like how, and the only way how you'll really be able to get to know that is by having conversations with a person. People can hide things for but so long. And there comes a point in time where they will then begin to open up and you'll begin to hear a lot. And it's up to you to actually listen to it, you know? And I think a part of us when we're in the dating process is that we're not fully listening. We only want to hear what we want to hear. I was there, you know what I'm saying? And I can only advise you not to do, like I tell people all the time, like, I can only advise you on what not to do because I did everything wrong. So I am so to the point now where I am trying to get this shit right. So I know and have been able to do my own self introspection, self-realization to realize everything that I did do wrong in order to get this shit right for the next time, right? And I just think that my personal opinion, I just think that it is imperative that when you are dating, listen and don't listen just with the intent to respond, but listen with the intent to understand who is this person? What are they exactly saying to me? And how will this affect my life?
Just want to throw this in the air. A lot of times we have the spirit of discernment and it's telling us this person's not right for us, but we go against it. I know because I've done it myself. Saw the red flags. It was eating up my spirit, but I said to myself, let me give the person a chance. Yeah, I got a person a chance. I got burned. So a lot of times we know it's not good for us. And a man can talk game, talk good all day long. Same thing with a woman. Like you say, you got to listen to what they're really saying. But a lot of times our spirit if something doesn't feel right about a conversation with this person, feel free to walk away. It's just not worth it. Because I had this young lady reach out to me. It was like, why keep on meeting bad guys? I'm like, what did the spirit discernment tells you? Well, it told me to, walk away. But he was just, I wanted to give him a chance. Yeah. Each time she give these dogs a chance, they came home with fleas. Each time. And I told her, just, hey, you know what you need to do. It's your option, but if you keep on running to the same issue every single time, then you need to change your behavior yourself and stop dating these men that talk a good game and go with your spirit, because it's telling you something right there. This is not the one for you. Move on. It's too many. It's too many men and women out there to give a chance to that you feel right about. Now they might put on that facade, but at least you did give them a chance. You found out, okay, this person's not who they say they are. Because I had this being transparent again. That it happened to the best of us. It happened to all of us. So don't think that your story is different from anyone else, because a lot of people been bamboozled, led astray. I was one of them. Hey, it happens. And then on top of that, it's kind of embarrassing being transparent again, because when you're a relationship coach, people think that you should have the perfect relationship. No. It's like you cannot make a mistake. You can't do this. And man, in Nikiya, I was with this one woman because of that. I was trying to make it work. Knew it was not going to work. I tried every single technique, everything I could, but it just wasn't. It wasn't meant to be. And we have to realize sometimes it's not meant to be and move on. I know it's gonna be tough to move on, but you got to move on for your sanity. But now I'm at peace now. Shoot.
I think that's the issue with, truth be told, I think in this modern world of the Derek Jacksons of the world and all these other people of the world, when you consider yourself a relationship guru, but you have yet to master relationship, and you're constantly giving advice on relationship, but you have yet to truly take in your own advice, but you're selling people on a product that has not fully been foolproof by your own means. That's what people have a struggle with. Like for me, that's my struggle with some of these those mainstream relationship gurus that they call themselves, and then you hear you allegedly cheating on their wives, right? So you can't call yourself something like a relationship expert, relationship guru, all this other extra stuff, right? And then you suffer from some of the major character flaws that you're actually exposing. Like you got them. I don't believe you. You need more people at that point, right? Jay-Z. So I just think that we in this day and age, especially now, we have to be very cognizant of whom we are following and receiving advice from, right? And not saying that people need to be perfect, because nobody is. However, if you out here doing what you do and you trying to give me advice and tell you, now you might be a good person to school me on, telling me to watch out for people just like you, but at least tell me that that's what you're telling me, and don't sit up here and try and act like you perfect, but really and truly you're basically telling me to watch out for you in the flesh, right? I think that's that whole thing, because I know for me, someone told me the other day, well, nobody's perfect. And I'm like, I don't expect perfection out of anybody, because I'm not perfect, and I don't want anyone to expect perfection out of me. I said, but one of the things that I will not accept is tolerance of BS. Like, and at the end of the day, when you know that you know better and you know that you can do better, then do that. But don't stay stuck in your foolery, and don't stay stuck in your buffoonery, as I want to call it, because all of that stuff, especially now and especially in the time that we are in, hurts people. And I believe that we need to be more concerning over the heart of men and women, because as hard as I am on men, I am just as hard on women. Why? Because we ain't innocent either. We're not all peachy. We cheat. We do some real terrible things. We lie, we deceive. Like you had your experience and you left the restaurant. We do all of that. The same thing that some of these men are doing, the women are doing the exact same thing. And women think that they get a pass for doing the exact same thing, and they don't. Because at the end of the day, truth be told, I believe that us as women have bred a culture in men that says that it's okay for them not to do certain things, right? And we've bred this culture for a very long time. Hence and now we have women today that are trying to cancel like Destiny's Child and that song Cater to You. First of all, the song was, I was a teenager or whatever when that song came out. How are we trying to cancel this song now, talking about it's offensive to women, this, that, and the third? Because they're singing a song about catering to their man, whomever that man might have been at the time. Why is that offensive to you? Like for me, I know if I'm in a relationship with a person or whatever, they definitely are catered to. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, right? Now, in this day and age, I might not draw your bathwater. You understand what I'm saying? Because people like take showers and shit, But I might have a good fresh towel and stuff ready for you, slippers ready. You know what I'm saying? For added comfort and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Food definitely ready. You know what I'm saying? And I was, for me, I was always taught certain things. Like, I'm just not going to serve a man on a paper plate ever in life. I'm not doing it. Like, you're not going to get a paper plate. And then on top of that, like, if he's sitting on the couch and eating or something like that, or even if he's eating in the bed and we're not at the table, no, he's going to get that tray. That's your tray. You're going to get a tray, right? Because at the end of the day, how else is he going to be comfortable to eat? So I don't think that there is anything wrong with a woman catering to a man. And I think that this is what's wrong with this damn society and in this damn culture today, that we are demonizing things that are actually good. You know what I'm saying? And that to me is a problem, because I believe that it actually does send the wrong message to women, especially these young girls. You know what I'm saying? And it just is what it is. I'm a little over this whole cancel culture stuff. I'm over how things are just changing. I'm over it, all of it. I think it's all dumb. And I think people need to find better things to do with their damn time. That's what I think. I think these folks is bored. Some of them probably need jobs and need to get off of Twitter.
Well, this pandemic really changed a lot of ways that we think. And I totally agree with you about this cancel culture. I hear this a lot. Men have to realize now women have flipped the script. They acting like men. Like you were saying, Nikiya, they out there doing their thing. There are Facebook groups of women that shows women how to cheat on a man, how to take his money. I know because I have friends in those groups that tells me about them. Okay? This is how wild it is now. And they don't care. As long as you got money, you can take care of them, they're good to go. They even exchange ideas how to take advantage of a man. And this is so whack now that people's mindset is to that now. Can't you take care of yourself? Why you take care of, try to hurt somebody? I'm sorry if something happened to you, but now you got to put it on someone else, hurt someone else. As I say, hurt people. But this is just madness right now. And that's why you have so many people that's giving up on dating. You get so many people like, I'd rather be single and have my peace. Come home, hey, lay down, cook, eat, do whatever I want to do. But you better be sure there ain't gonna be no madness in my house. I don't have to worry about nobody stepping over me, or that I can't trust them to do anything. It's just crazy out there, but we got to get it together. And hopefully the pandemic is not over with. I know we're starting to open up. Maybe we can start socializing more, get out, because there's a lot of people out there that are stuck at home, depressed. They're really depressed because now a lot of people found out, this is not funny, but a lot of people found out they don't like their wife or their husband because now they have to spend time with them. They working from home, like, doggone, I can spend 24 hours a day with you now. There are so many divorces going on right now because of the pandemic. One good thing about the pandemic, it cut down on some cheating. What you think? You don't think so?
I think when it was mandatory lockdown, it did. But I think once they started opening up last summer, cheating was like, boom. Now I really get to escape you.
You know what? You're right. You're right about that. It's gonna be a crazy summer. I can tell you that. Because people are already acting a fool outside when the weather's nice. But sooner or later we're gonna get this. I'm not just it's going to be perfect, but only thing we could do is make sure that we act appropriately with each other, like you were saying about communication, and it's all about trust. And once you get over that, because I know people that's one of the reasons why they don't date, because of trust. Trust is everything. And once you lose trust from a woman or a man, you can forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to question, in the back of their mind, they're going to question every single thing that you do.
Mm-hmm.
You might not say anything, but they're going to question it. And who wants to be in a relationship like that? Nikiya, check this out. This one person hit me up with my DM. Her husband texted her happy birthday. Okay? But it wasn't her birthday. So she said, Darryle, how should I handle this? I think you know how you should handle this, because your birthday, it wasn't your birthday, and your birthday is when? 4 months from now? What? So, and his answer was, it was a mistake, baby. Mm-hmm. Come on now. That happy birthday was for somebody else. They don't even care anymore. They're just gonna lie to you straight up. Hey, I just made a mistake. Said happy birthday to you. I don't know what happened, baby. Blah blah blah. Come on. You know when your wife's birthday is. And she found out, yep, there was another woman. It's just crazy. And they've been married for like 20 something years.
I just have an issue with cheaters. I have a very big issue with cheaters. So it is just, I have an issue with cheaters. I just have an issue with cheaters. So that is like the vein of I just loathe it. And I can only imagine how that woman felt to receive a text message from her husband saying happy birthday and it was not her birthday. and then to later on discover that there was another woman and it more than likely was her birthday. And I'm going to tell a story about this because this is what people fail to understand when it comes down to cheating. There's no right and there's no wrong way to cheat. It's all wrong, period. It's just all wrong. And so this happened a little bit before me. I found out after the fact, but this happened a little bit before me and the ex got married. The one that he was married to right now, her birthday is in September. Yeah. So we got married September 29th, 2017. Her birthday was a few weeks before that. I don't exactly know when. What I do know is that he said he had to meet somebody. He was going up to Quaker Bridge Mall, I believe is the name of that mall. I think that's the name of that mall. He was going up to that mall to go to the Cheesecake Factory, right? At that time, we had a young couple living with us. So he brought the husband with him to go to that Quaker Bridge Mall. He said he had to meet somebody there at that Quaker Bridge Mall. I think that's the name of that mall. I don't know, but it's off of Route 1 down in South Jersey, like in the Lawrence. I don't know whatever the hell area there, but it's over there. So, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. I don't care. I don't pay that. I am one of them type people that I will give anybody enough rope to hang themselves. And even after you hang yourself, I'm still stick around until you just like, boom, right? So I really didn't pay it any attention. So after everything transpired, now the young husband decides to tell me the story about what really happened that day when they went to that Quaker Bridge Mall. They went to that Quaker Bridge Mall because they actually met up with the girl. And that was where he was taking her for her birthday. And he used the young husband as a way to get out of the house without me suspecting that that's what he was doing. And this was probably about 2 to 3 weeks before we got married when all of this happened in September of 2017. And he did all of this, and I never forget because he always had an issue with leaving receipts in his pockets. And I was the one that I for some odd reason, I actually like washing clothes. Folding them is a totally different story, but I love washing clothes, right? So I'm washing the clothes and I got to go through his pockets to take everything out the pockets. And I see this receipt from the Cheesecake Factory for that day at that mall. And on the receipt says like complimentary birthday, whatever. And I'm like, well, who the hell's birthday was it when you went to the Cheesecake Factory? Because I thought you were just going up there. You had to meet somebody and then y'all just got like something quick to eat and y'all came back to the house. Who birthday was it? Oh, we just did that so, we could just get a free, whatchamacallit. I said, oh, okay. And I left it alone until everything blew up that April of 2018. And then a few weeks later, that young couple came down to the house supposedly to check on me. And the husband begins to tell me that story about what really happened that day. Now, fast forward to today, 2021, the same husband that told me the whole story about what happened that day, the ex just is making him an overseer in the church. So my point in all of that is to say, people wonder why I have such a disdain for cheating. And especially when you cheat in the face of your spouse or significant other, because at that time I was not a spouse, I was a significant other. That's why I have a problem with it. I find it to be highly offensive. I find it to be highly deceptive. And then when you use other people to get out of the house so that your spouse or significant other does not ask you questions concerning where you at, where you going, or whatever the case may be. A lot of people that have issues with cheating, what I find is that when they finally do become single, they are the biggest people that have an issue with answering questions, which is why they decide, I just want to be single. I don't want to be in a committed relationship. I don't want anybody asking me any questions, because 9 times out of 10, you probably live a deceptive lifestyle. People that don't like answering questions, 9 times out of 10 are deceptive ass people, period. Because answering a question really shouldn't be a problem. It's when you feel the need to lie to answer questions is when you really and truly have the problem. So I have a huge problem as it pertains to cheating because of what I experienced as a woman being cheated on and the level of deception that took place in order to cover it all up. To me, you just don't do that to a person, and you don't crush a person like that. And while I will say I more than likely would have been justified in cheating back, the only reason why I didn't was because I knew I wouldn't be able to look myself in the face if I did. That's it. That's the only that's as far as that goes. And that's as far as that will ever go. So I just think that we have to be realistic about what we are doing. And we also have to be realistic about whom it is affecting and why it's affecting that person. And I just think we have such a huge problem with telling the goddamn truth. And, I just, I can only imagine how that woman felt receiving a text message like that from her husband. And that's crushing, because it's like you already know what the deal is, what the truth is, what the real is. And but in the back of your mind, you are hoping that his lie is the truth, knowing damn well that his lie is not the truth, that his lie is just what it is, a whole lie, and that the truth is about to come and slap you right dead in your face. And when it does, it's a force when that level of truth comes. So I just, nope.
I agree with you. I have an issue with cheating too. And it's sad too when you call a cheater out. Like you said, they want to answer questions. But what I've noticed, they get angry when you ask the question. They start getting an attitude, and then they try to flip it around on you, which they try to manipulate you, unfortunately. And if you're going to cheat, stay single. There's no reason to bring someone into a relationship, a marriage, or anything, something serious. Just stay single. Do what be you. Like they say, be you, boo. Do you. But realize what you're doing. It reminds me of, hey, it's this football player. I'm not going to mention his name. His wife, his ex-wife, is suing him for what you call it, alimony. I think she's trying to get like $100,000 a month. And the funny part is, she found out that her husband was cheating on her. Like, wow, okay, but hold it. When you the other woman when he was married, so when he was married, he was cheating with you. So what made you think that things were going to change? Now you busting him with someone else when you was a side chick when he was married. But now you have attitude that he cheated on me. Woman, what did you do? How did you get him? We don't take responsibility for anything anymore. It seems like these days. Until it hits them in the face. Until they feel the hurt. And once they feel the hurt, maybe they might change. I hope a cheater. I'm not sure if a cheater can change. I'm not gonna say once a cheater, always a cheater, but over time, with maturity, with the help of God, you can rise above anything. But yeah, cheating is a big number one in my book. Cheating and trust. That goes hand in hand.
Yeah, I do believe people can definitely be delivered from their cheating ways, their little deceptive ways. But like you said, it will definitely take it definitely takes a hard look at self, and it definitely takes a lot of being real with self. You know what I'm saying? And it also takes releasing the guilt and the shame from yourself. You have to be able to release that in order to move on beyond it, because if you stay viewing yourself in that lens, you'll never move beyond it. And you have to remove the shame of it from being the lens in which how you view yourself, so that you'll be able to move on from it. I do definitely believe that. We are about to wind down now, so Darryle, what I will do is I will leave you with any final remarks that you would like to make.
Only thing I need to say, even though this was stimulating, mentally stimulating, I just want people to realize don't give up on love. There's someone out there for you. I know people go through tough times. I know people have been hurt. Um, the first thing you must do is heal thyself. Work on yourself first before you get into another relationship. And once you can do self-reflecting about yourself, what you really want in a mate, then you pray to God that mate can be delivered to you. So never give up on love, because it's out there for you. We just gotta get with the right person, and the right person is out there for everyone. But also, don't accept no BS. You see BS coming, deuces. You don't got time. We too old for these games. That's all I have to say, Nikiya.
Well, I want to thank you for joining the Muzzlers of podcast tonight. And I just want to leave people with basically the same thing that Darryle just said. And for everyone to truly understand, do not, and I will repeat, do not give up on love. Do not give up do not give up your hope in finding someone whom you can relate with. There are millions of people in this earth. And you're going to have to go out and go seek and go find. Make yourself available. Get yourself ready. And let people know I'm ready. That's all I do. I be like, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? But then I get, listen, but my ready, then next thing you know, my inbox gets flooded with weird people and weird stuff.
I can only imagine.
The weirdness, sometimes it's overbearing that day. I'll be like,
I feel for women. I really do, because some of the stuff I hear that's be popping in you guys' DMs, I'm like, oh my God, jeez. It's like there's some lunatics out there.
all jokes aside, they really are. I remember this probably was like a year or so ago when Instagram first started that whole disappearing, send disappearing picture things or whatever. And some pastor, I don't know who he was, because to this day I don't remember him, but he literally sent me like a disappearing peen pic, and I was like, sir, I don't know you, and why would you send that? And he actually ended up he blocked me, because I was like, why would you send me that? I don't even know you. Like, he literally just sent me the picture. I had never spoken to him, never said a word to him. Next thing you know, I get a disappearing peen pic, and I was like, well, this is you guys are weird and disgusting. But what I will say is, one thing about me is that I have never allowed any of the situations or relationships that I have been in to deter me from discovering true love, right? And I just believe that, we have to, I keep myself guarded because I don't allow everyone in, but I keep myself also open to allow the one in. So there's a difference, right? You can't allow everyone in, but you will know when that person is the right person to allow in. And when that person comes that you literally can allow into you, it's just going to be I believe that it's just going to be a totally different feeling. It's going to be a totally different experience, and it's going to be one of mutual attraction, not just physical, but also mental, emotional, and even spiritual attraction, to where you're just going to be naturally drawn to the person. So I want to leave that with all of you guys, men and women alike. Keep yourself ready and available to receive the one that really and truly is for you. And for the ones that are not, deuces. So what? Don't allow that to deter you. Period. Don't allow that to deter you.
Yes, life is too short. It really is. So we got to enjoy life and love life. Like you said, Nikiya, there's someone out there for you. Just have to be patient. Put yourself in the right position. And when that time comes, and it can come just like this, without you realizing. You're like, oh God, my prayers have been answered. So love is out there, but first work on yourself, and don't let nobody tell you anything different. And also, do not settle. I don't care. I don't care how long you have to wait, because if you settle, you're gonna be miserable. You definitely will be miserable because you settle for something that God did not have planned for you with this person. That's all I have to say.
All right, y'all heard it first. Do not settle, y'all. So with that, I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank everybody that will watch in the future. I want to thank everybody that is watching either on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. I want to thank you guys for always tuning in. I want you to know, please continue to like, share, subscribe, follow the Muzzle is Off podcast, because I truly believe that we do something a little different, and I like how we do things. And it's not just because it's me, it's just because it is me. Joking. So again, tune in next week. We will have another awesome podcast. Also, just keep in mind, for the month of July, we will not air for the month of July. I am going to be doing a lot of different regrouping, rebranding to come back out in August. So just keep in mind, for the month of July, we will not air for the entire month of July in order to just regroup and rebrand some things for the podcast, so that we can hit it in August. All right. So with that, everybody, I really and truly want to say good night. Have a great evening. Be safe, and be safe. Peace out, y'all.